to create content that you're able to express to the world, but not really know where to start? I was there once, and let me tell you, if it wasn't for Anchor, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. So, let me explain. Anchor is a free podcasting app that allows you to record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will put all of your podcasts on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and many other platforms. And you don't have to worry about minimum listenership because you will get paid regardless. It's everything that you could ever need in a podcast. So I highly recommend that you download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I want to thank you for joining me today. My name is Ren, and today we are going to talk about early childhood education, specifically the roles of an early childhood educator or practitioner. What is it that they do, and how do they do it? So, early childhood education is an intentional way of supporting the learning and development of young children. Despite ECE programs, and by ECE I mean early childhood education, you'll hear me use that term a lot just to shorten it or abbreviate it. But despite ECE programs positively benefiting families, there are a lot of misconceptions out there about ECE practitioners. Some people assume that working with children is a natural thing to do due to instincts. And that leads to a lot of the misconceptions that I hear and that other practitioners have heard along the years. ECE practitioners, they often get mistaken for just simply playing or babysitting young children, when in reality it's a lot more deeper than that. It's a lot more meaningful than that. So when compared to an elementary school, some people feel that ECE programs aren't as sophisticated. They're not as in-depth or intriguing, or just not really doing anything for the children. That's what I get from a lot of people. They really just don't understand what it is or why it is so important or why early childhood education is a thing. And that is why I'm here to make this particular content in general, just to clear up any misunderstandings regarding ECE practitioners. I find it that I'm always having to defend myself as an educator as well, especially one of young children, just to get people to understand the light in all of the work that we do. So, there are many different duties that ECE practitioners are responsible for. And if you are an ECE practitioner who is proud of your field, then I want to give you a personal shout out, because I know that you will understand where I'm coming from when I break all of these points down. Now, in order to work with children, the first thing an ECE practitioner must understand is the ins and outs of child development. Child development is very deep. It's very important, and it's how we understand how children operate, because children are a lot different than adults. And we were all there. We've all had to start off there. Yet we forget what that was like because it was so long ago. That's why it's important for us to go back and relearn how children think, how they act, and how they develop. So, development of children, it has to be enhanced and fostered by the educator, by the practitioner. So ECE practitioners have to create content that surrounds the 5 main areas of development. These areas are physical development. Physical increases a child's ability to control their muscles. This is also, there's also social emotional development, that is being able to manage emotions and build long-lasting relationships. Another area of development within young children that we focus on is cognitive, which is strengthening comprehension and problem solving skills. Another one is language, which is communication skills. How well can the child communicate and get their thoughts across? And then we also have gross motor development, which is the use of large muscle groups. And then there's also fine motor, which is the use of smaller muscle groups. So large muscle groups are like the arms and the legs and running and jumping. And then the fine motor is the smaller muscles, like the pinky and, all of the fingers really, and the toes and things like that. Being able to hold drawing utensils and so forth. So it's very, very important that ECE practitioners know these 5 areas of development so that they can create content pertaining to those areas, enhancing those areas, so to build upon with the child. And with all of these areas of development in mind, practitioners are able to assist young children to become the best versions of themselves that they can possibly be while in their care. So that's extremely important. Another aspect I want to bring up is curriculums. This is another role that's very important. When you're an educator, you must be able to plan out curriculums. Now, young children need they need curriculum that relates to them in their developmental process. It has to be relational, meaning it has to be able to connect to them, and then it has to be physical. Children learn physically. They cannot just sit in front of a TV like you and I, like how we just go on the internet and pull up a course and just take a course online. They can't do that. They're not there yet, but they will get there. And it starts with us fostering that within them. So for now, majority of their learning has to be physical, has to be hands-on. That is why intentional experiences created by the ECE practitioner is so crucial when you're planning out a curriculum. Now, moving forward, we also must be knowledgeable in children's health, children's safety, and nutrition. That's also a part of the role. Now, with young children, their lives are in our hands. We take care of them closely every day. So practitioners must be able to identify and respond effectively to child-threatening situations for the sake of the child's health and those around. So this could be, like, for instance, let's say that you have a child in your classroom or in your care, and that child begins to show signs of a rash or a breakout, or the child is extremely warm. You check their temperature because you notice that they're warm. You go and you get their temperature checked. If it's too high, if it's above what the standard is for your facility, then that's when you get on the phone. You let your directors know. You let the chain of command know what's going on with the child. You also reach out to the parent, let them know what's going on with the child. And then you start to make sure that the child is as comfortable as possible and getting the best care while you await the next steps. Typically what will happen in my case is, let's say a child has a fever. We get the child's fever taken. We confirm that it is way too high. We reach out to the chain of command. We also speak to the parents. The parents arrange a time or arrange for themselves or a relative to come and pick up the child. We fill out a sick report, and then we continue to monitor the child closely until they are picked up from the school. And then you can also continue to check up with the family, depending on how many days they're out, just to show that you are supportive and that you care and that you are still involved in the child's life, even though they're not physically